I was crazy about her. And if it were up to me, we'd still be married. She was telling me that she was taking tennis lessons. It really didn't see her game improve much. It turned out she was seeing this starving artist, loser, emphasis on starving, by the way. So she's shacking up with this guy now and serving with divorce papers to pay $20,000 on what they call spousal maintenance. Why should I have to support her and her freeloading boyfriend, you know? I mean, she was the one that walked out on me.
You know, that might just be the cost of doing business with the devil on that thing. I mean, unfortunately, you know, when you look at it from a moral standpoint or from a common sense standpoint, you would think, hey, you know, this person who's out sleeping around or doing whatever the hell she's doing, you know, shouldn't be profiting from her bad actions. However, when you start talking about temporary spousal support, which is the monies that person receives during the pendency of the divorce, it's a whole different category even than spousal maintenance. And what that is trying to do is take care of that person during the pendency. So let's say that my wife and I are getting a divorce and we're separated and she's living in the house, and turns out that, you know, she's having an affair with the tennis pro and decides to move this tennis pro into the house. And I'm fuming and fussing about, I can't believe that I've got to pay for this. Well, guess what? If she hasn't worked for a period of time, how are you going to make sure that she is taken care of? And that's what the court's responsibility is. So the court is going to look at what is necessary to take care of her minimum reasonable needs. Once again, that term we used. But additionally, the court doesn't want to allow a situation where a major asset of the parties is going to fall into ruin. So I'm going to be the one who's going to have to take care of the responsibilities associated with the house. So what all does that include? Well, that's going to include, you know, the mortgage and, you know, all the things that are necessary for the upkeep. So if we've got someone taking care of the yard, or if you've got someone taking care of a pool, or, you know, anything that you can think of along those lines are going to be lumped in. Now, is that going to change once the divorce is actually granted? Yeah, it's going to change. Now, does that mean that she's not going to have spousal maintenance? Not necessarily, especially if she hasn't worked for, say, over 10 years and she's been a stay-at-home mom and taking care of the kids. The court in that regard, it's not that they disregard the bad actions of that person, but they are looking at other issues. You know, let's say it was a situation where I was a doctor, you know, and she's a nurse. I mean, was she putting me through med school? Was she a homemaker who was taking care of the kids while I was furthering my, you know, oncology career? So there are all kinds of things that the court takes into consideration, and so it's really kind of a fine balancing act. Just make sure that you don't try to get on the moral high ground or start looking at logic, because as we all know, that doesn't always work when you're trying to figure out what the law is on something.